as XRP is captivating our attention once again, as it's had quite a little bit of a run up here, and it doesn't seem like a lot percentage wise because of how high the price is now. But in most of the history that I've been covering XRP, the move that it made would have constituted between a 60 and 80% move based on it being 20 cents. Now it's a 6.8% move right now. We did run wild a little bit, all the way up to $3.29. Wild a little bit. Whoops. All the way up to... Which also culminates with our technical target for the initial move up. Now, if we hold this, which we have so far, now we can push up to that test of all-time highs again. And that's what I'll be intrigued to see if it plays out, if there's any further pullback. But this is a great sign in the 30-minute that we got a hold on 2 candles. Now, there was more sell pressure, a little bit less buy pressure, which we have to keep looking into that. But it's nothing of too big of concern yet. I think it's still got a little bit more room here, at least to get to 332, possibly here. And then if it gets past there, we can go to all-time highs. It was nice to talk to everybody at 3 a.m. Hold on, I'm trying to find my phone charger. The piece is on the floor. Alright, so it was nice to talk to everybody at 3 a.m. We were on for, like, as it turns out, like almost an hour and 40 minutes. There was about 175 people in there. And a lot of our discussion was about, don't be surprised if XRP starts to rotate down now while some of these other cryptos outperform it just because it got out ahead. And there's not an issue with that. And I said, in fact, you might end up getting back towards, where it's going down and others are starting to pop. And now, I don't know if Alchemy Pay is going to continue on, but I'm riding it. I see a volume spike. I see a price spike. And in the 30-minute, it's been 3 successful candles of increased volume. I think this is recipe for a continuation. I think in the 4-hour time frame, we're finally breaking out. And we're just back testing levels. We could come down even to here, maybe. 2-2. Could we come all the way back down to here? I don't know if we'd come all the way back down, but maybe. But I'm looking for volume. And guys, that's volume. Volume is how you command and have a respectful breakout. And this is a group trade, and I don't know how much it's up. I don't even really care. It's, I don't know, $150 maybe, 104. I don't know. I honestly don't look when it's rolling. I have a Filecoin group trade, as you know. I have a Theta one that I added to. I added more to the position because I believe both of these. I'm going to go through a slew of these, including XRP, that I'm going to show you what I think is going to happen, and I'm going to show you the logic behind, and I'll tell you what I own here, and these are all spot. So everything I'm saying right now is in spot. We'll take this off, even though I love ZIL because it's not part of the equation right now. Quant is technically part of the equation, but that's the exception to the rule. So I have data. It's close. It's over 400,000. It's not 500, but it's like 400 and something thousand. I have Alchemy Pay with you guys, Filecoin and Theta. I have VeChain. We got it this morning, but it's like 200 and something thousand tokens, 222,000 if I had to guess. I have 5K in ZBCN. And then I have a small leverage trade with Quant that was just opened when it was down 0.41%. But it's only a $430 10x trade, but it equals 41 Quant. So that is what I'm doing there too. And then I have exposure to Axelar because it's got the partnership with Ripple, and with XRP moving, I think Axelar is due. And I have exposure to Casper because I think it's overdue. I have DGB, which I think it's well overdue. And I have some exposure to IOTA because I think there's going to likely be a continuation. But, I'm not a rock. I can't 100% say. And then, I don't talk about XRP Healthcare so much because they just sit there, and I don't really want to worry about how much it's worth. And some people are like, well, why don't you talk about XRP Healthcare? Why don't you talk? Because I don't like to keep reminding myself that I have 102,000 tokens. I just want to let it work. Like yesterday, it was down 7%. And now today, you can see how it picked it all back up. Has a beautiful W reversal. Has a perfect golden cross here. Inverse head and shoulders. to an extent, but it is, well, yeah, there is, but it is that golden cross, and this is another one in that time frame that we're working out of. And then you can go right down to Axelar, same exact thing, working out of that beautiful golden cross. We're looking for a volume spike, haven't got it yet. XRP Healthcare, we're more stable. And then Casper, we're working on that same fundamental rotation. Golden cross, waiting for the breakout. And then DGB, and we'll work our way to XRP, and I'll work my way into the comments too. I promise you guys. I promise you. DGB, same thing, working off that golden cross. Still hasn't parabolically spiked. Still waiting to get to that first layer. That's all that is. That's not the final goal, but that's the first layer. And then you've got ones that on this page are the exact same way. Data. We're looking to have a breakout here, but this is breaking out of a formation. Back tested it. And this one's going to move very volatile. This I have a lot of exposure to, as you know. Alchemy Pay. We were in that golden cross waiting for it to break out. We have the initial breakout. Now we're going to back test the move. And I'm pretty comfortable saying that we should continue here. I'm not selling. I didn't wait all this time for that to pop to just sell it after 7 to 9%. But I think that volume dictates the price, and that 4-hour volume spike is a beautiful thing to see. So now we would be coming up to, oh yeah, I switched the chart so that we could see volume. And it's not like it's huge in comparison to the back of here, but it's a spike in comparison to where we were at in the timing of it. So that's actually relatively important here to try to get a boost here. So we'll just watch that unbiasedly. But we can look at, you know, what was going on here underneath. And this is what I was saying. We're trying to break out overall. And this is like, this is how you could get this done. Actually. Ooh, that's tricky. Because you can't come like this, but if you overextend it. I don't like that. I don't like doing it like that. Let me go into the daily. That looks weird. Suppose we could say the resistance. But then if you did it, that's how you would have to do it, though, because you wouldn't have waited to draw this pattern out. You would have waited here, and when it came down, you'd be like, oh, there's a top. You understand what I'm, like, we would have come here. We wouldn't have waited for this to start the top there. We would have did it here. We wouldn't have done it here. It was too far down, I think. Although that could be the initial breakout that we could do. But then you're just splitting hairs. I would have, unless, no, I don't like that either, because that's not really, now we're cutting out part of the equation just so that we can try to draw something different. I think it makes, if we did something like this, I think it makes a lot of sense that this is actually attempting a breakout. Because when you look at it in the daily, assuming you didn't know what was going to happen here and you just kind of went, and you're like, all right, well, where's this coming up so we can do this instead of just doing it like this? Because you could say that was the first layer, but then you would have to do this for the actual breakout. Even if you wanted to do it the other way, you couldn't really do it. Now you could do it like, you know what? Yes, you could, because you could just say, forget the wicks, because, you know what? I agree. But, well, I agree with all of you if you're thinking this. But I think you could do it like this, because you have the resistance all the way through, back up, resistance structure, come through the wick, back to the candle, have the overzealous wick, come back down. Don't even need to worry about the support. It's more about the resistance, but we'll figure out the support so we can see the size of the move. But I think that's what we're doing. We're actually in the verge of breaking out here. I think that's a much better way to look at it in the daily. I'll get the comments in just a minute. My mind's still kind of razzled because I had like an emergency situation that happened with, and thank God it's resolved itself. But Julie's nephew, my nephew, but on Julie's side, her sister's son, he's on the track team, and he went missing during the track running and stuff, and he was gone for a few hours. To the point to where I had my backpack and I was waiting for a ride, the Uber to get here, and I was going to go up there and go down this trail up and down. It's a few miles, and I was going to try to find them. But the police got called in, and after a little while, they ended up finding him. So, fortunately, that all worked itself. Well, we don't know what happened. We haven't got any details, but we do know he's with the, he's at least safe. I don't know what happened. I don't know the reasoning. But, you know, just for anybody who is still wondering who heard about it. Let's see. So, yeah, that's what we broke out of. I think that's fair. Do you guys think that's fair? And if you're part of this audience and you respect what I do, make sure you hit that like button. Consider joining Tom's Army for $9.99 a month to pay it forward. I put all this content out for free. I've been doing it since March 24th of 2021. And if you're in the Telegram, do me a solace, especially, and join Tom's Army. The way the charts have run up, if you've been watching me, just please, all I ask is you join the Army and you help me continue to put this content out for free with your generous, kind, and courteous giving. I've been here. I came here this morning at 3 a.m., 3:30 until like almost 5, so we could cover it in the moment. We did a short. Now I'm back here right now. I love doing this. Like I like doing this. I like seeing what's happening with the charts. I like watching it at a detailed level. I like trying to share what I know. And I like to see if things that we've set up, even if it takes days on end, with XRP's case, years on end, it gives me a lot of satisfaction. And you could see me very happy in the short because it gives me satisfaction that we bought XRP at 34 cents. And now we get to say it's at $3.22. Some people are getting thrown off with the fact that it's not at, who cares? I don't care if it goes back to $2.75, $3. What does it matter? I bought it for $3,000. It's worth $32,000 right now. Just put it in perspective. Or $3,400 I bought it for. You know? Same with all of you who've been watching. Put it in perspective. We're in shit territory right now for XRP. Because this is where all the hype's going to come in. And this is where they can take liquidity. That's why it sucks to buy it on the fly. Because at some point, they're going to need to take liquidity. And the back test for XRP, it seems pretty appropriate to me. They liquidate the long leverage traders. They come down and retest this $3.10 to verify this move. That's what I think needs to happen. Maybe it's a little bit lower. But see, that's why I say you have to fundamentally flow the way I do to understand it the way I do. Otherwise, you're not going to know. If you watch every day, you're going to see it and you're like, what the hell is going on with all these charts? Like, what is he talking about? And you've seen what happened with the ACH. That's the first now in the line of the ones we're watching to attempt, with a little bit of volume, a push out. Now we have to validate the move, so you have that back test. I don't know if it's going to hold, and maybe it breaks down and it would have been worth me selling it out, but I didn't buy this, and I wouldn't have bought it personally to sell it out after that little 9% or 8%. I would have at least wanted to see it come up to the cup that it's formed, the short cup at 2.7, but ultimately I would like to see it come up near that 3 cents. But even more than that, we're attempting a breakout at 70% of the move, and it's accompanied by volume in the 4-hourly. Hello, that's all signs of bullish continuation. So if we do it kind of sideways slanted like this to try to give it the same illusion of what it has. Even this, 4.3 cents. Oh, shit. That's slightly higher than I was thinking. 4.3 cents is the technical move here. The out of the consolidation here, that descending triangle, I suppose you'd call it a descending wedge there as well. So, I mean, if we're in alt season, or if these are going to start to at least make up for this very bearish consolidation that we've been, well, it's bullish, but a very bearish time of consolidation for holders, this would be the time. And like I've been trying to set us up perfectly with this trade, that's why I'm not going to give it back. Even if it comes down, I got to stay true to the trade, because that's what I would do on my own. So, you know, fingers crossed, ladies and gentlemen, that we don't give the house their $150 or $200 or whatever it was at back. But I don't know. We'll just see. We'll just see. We need volatility for a rise in some of these that are in these positions, and we're gonna get volatility. Whatever happened with that damn Genius Act? Did they delay it again? Is that what I was seeing? Then I'll say hi. Because all that I was seeing overnight was that the Genius Act is back on track. Trump knows he's got enough support from the Republicans now, blah, blah, blah. Can we get an update here, please? Like, that's the best you can do me is 12 hours ago, Google. Like, give me a fucking break. I bet you AI can do better than that. Jesus. Whoops.
National Innovation for U.S. Stablecoins Act has seen significant.
To President on July 16, 2025, blah, blah, blah. This follows its passage in the Senate on July 17, 2025, with a bipartisan vote of 68-30. The bill is now on its way to Donald Trump's desk to be passed. President Trump's support. Trump has been a vocal supporter of the Genius Act. Yeah. Oh, this doesn't seem right. I mean, I know they passed something, but they didn't do the actual... It's not to Trump yet, is it? I don't think it... Did it actually get to Trump's desk? I don't know about that. Yeah, that's what I thought. And they actually decided within the vote to keep the Senate bill that they created for the Genius Act. They said so that they would avoid it not being passed or whatever. Which who the hell knows what's true or not, but that's at least the line of bullshit they're feeding us. So we continue to be patient for these ones in the Golden Cross. We continue to watch if XRP is going to backtest $3.10 after a volatile move, which I think it's probably going to. I told everybody in the audience, do not leverage from here. I told everybody in the audience, I wouldn't buy it up there at $3.30. And I have no reason to. That's why I bought it when it was so cheap. And practically 99% who came across my community would ignore my advice. But now they're coming back and wanting to buy it and asking me why I'm a hater for XRP and not buying it. Because I'm trying to buy things that are where XRP was and they're part of the rotation so they can get to where XRP's at now. And I can have a whole lot of moolah and have XRP. Seems like a pretty good strategy. But I don't know. We'll see. If it exposes itself as a fake, right? All the market, but I don't know. I'm not convinced that's what's happening here. I'd be shocked if these don't end up doing... You know, they're just overdue. They're overdue. And these are spot positions, so I don't care if it takes a week, a month. We're sitting in it, guys, unless it forces us out. So, you know, we're sitting. We're waiting. We're stalking. We're praying. All right, let's go. Let's see some of the comments. Steven, welcome in, and thanks for being in Times Zone for 3+ months with the XP Meteor. And the number 1 top fan. Parker, welcome in, the number 2 top fan in this stream. Syrian, welcome in. Tied at number 3 for the top fan. A very trust mod in, and Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. With Anthony Venegas and XRP Moon Rocket. Appreciate both of you and good morning. All 3 of you. Joseph Euler, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for 6+ months with the XP Predictor along with Jorge. It's all an illusion. McMichael. Let's see who else. Anybody else in 6 months? Anybody else? George Athanasov. Thank you all for being in Tom's Zone for 6+ months with the XP Predictor, and thank you, Jorge, for being a very, very trusted mod in here and the Telegram. He says, thank you, Tom, for now. These conditions live of the day. We are on fire and on point. Let's fucking go. Absolutely. And how many of you appreciate me just doing the lives in the morning now that I can? Or if I can, instead of updates. I haven't done an update video in 6 days because I've been doing lives twice a day. You know, as we've been in very volatile market conditions. So, and we continue to be in very volatile market conditions. No surprise here. But even the positions that I am hoping will finish breaking out, you know, there is no guarantee that that will happen. You know, that's why we say we're looking for it to happen. At least ACH gave us a little hope because it did, in fact, start its aggressive move up. So that is a good sign. Now, these ones that are a little higher up, I don't know because they could very well pull down an M topping reversal. And for all I know, IOTA's got to retest 15.9. Now that I look at that, that's interesting for IOTA. But I don't know if it'll come way down there. I'm just saying, for all we know, we could be in some kind of setup where we have to come down there. But other than that, I mean, I'm not really seeing much that changes my mindset here. I'm really not. Like, yeah, we're getting a hostile consolidation and volatility, but that's what we're going to eventually need for some of these to make the move. I'm shocked. I'll be shocked if XLR drops more than like 8 or 9%. I'd be shocked if it drops more than a couple percent here. Unless the market just dictates a further response down. But I think ACH is a gatekeeper for us today, folks. For everything we've been watching in the similar setup, I think it was a gatekeeper. It showed us with patience, with a clear understanding of your emotions, with a direct focus and a direct agenda for our positioning. We don't have to be afraid of the red. It says, I'm your gatekeeper today, and I'm in the same position as the other ones, and we were behind. Now let's let these babies pop one by one, and don't get overzealous, and let them consolidate and finish the move. We're so far behind, just let us finish the move. Enjoy some time together in the group with the three of us, which would be ACH, Philo, and Theta. We'll see how far we can advance them, and we'll sit back, kick back, relax until it's fallen out of this structure, period. And right now it looks like hopefully they'll follow ACH's path of enlightenment instead of the path of red. But that's where we're at right now. And you can sell ACH at any time if you want, if you're part of that trade, and take the profit. I wouldn't blame you. I'm just in more of a long-term mindset. You know, as long as it's willing to take the move. I'm not going to sit in it to lose money now, but I will let it do its job. From my buy-in, that is. Crypto Cooter, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 3 months with the XRP Meteor. Set apart, Kawabunga, Clayton. Thank you all so much for being in Tom's Army. XRP Lemur, good morning. I sat up till 2 a.m. waiting on someone to go live, and obviously I didn't wait long enough. Nope. Well, I woke up at 3 a.m. and my son woke up, which he now fell asleep to nap. But I woke up and I'm like, you know what? I need to be here. I need to be here. But I think this is just tomfoolery. I still think the market, because we haven't got the ultimate continuations within the pattern, I still think the market's meant to do what it needs to do here. So, like I said, I'm going to be patient. I'm going to be patient. I'm going to let my stuff do its job. And if it goes haywire and it goes away, you know, whatever. We can only do what we can do. We can only do what we can do. Let's see. So that's at 2214. This falls out at 2253. But that's looking at it from the 4 hourly, but you can see we've already did the cup, the back test, if this is going to be a little handle. The daily on IOTA has a, oh man, the only question is, would it come down here to back test this, or would it just volatility break out? That is an answer I don't know until we know. But I suspect that we're not being so volatile for no reason. And I think Algo's kind of giving us a little bit of enlightenment there as well. How it seemingly wants to push out of this flag here, and it's rounding the bottom. I think it might be just a little bit ahead of IOTA. And, well, maybe not, because IOTA's kind of... Actually, IOTA might be ahead in that regard. Man, that's tough. But like ZIL, we talked about ZIL, how it still hasn't technically made the move. And I know you can't buy ZIL on spot on BITUNIX, but you can buy it on the futures market and just put it 1x if you want to do spot. That's the advice I give everybody. I do it myself. So I'm more comfortable in spot, especially when we're in volatile moments. Because I like to let them play. You know, I like to let these patterns actually have a chance. You know, the worst thing I can do is jump the gun and sell it because I'm on leverage. And just to watch it, just reverse, even if I wouldn't have got liquidated, it's a lot harder to see it in leverage. Because you know that position can go bye-bye. Without it being in leverage, you don't really have to worry as much. You don't have to, it's your position is the point. Let's see. I'm just worried about XLM. It has a double top. I know. A lot of them that started an early run have this formation like IOTA. So it is possible that these can come back down and consolidate, and that liquidity goes into the other ones that are just pending. You know, it's the same thing with XRP. With this run up now, after a long consolidation, it technically has come up for a big double top. If it were to break down, you could say it's got a massive double top that's forming. You know, it could be, you never know. So everything is going to look like that until it breaks through, and, you know, and if it breaks down, then it would have unfortunately played to that being true. But there just seems to be so much left that still has to make these run outs. It just, to consolidate this long, I'm not convinced. They're going to have to convince me, folks. They're going to have to kick me in the nuts and take a little bit of my money for me to not let this play out. Like, I mean, like 6 to 8% down from here before I'm going to be like, nope. Because I just don't believe it. I believe these are going to have these green. I said it in the live earlier that we're going to see them all up now. ACH is up 5.6%. That's not what I was talking about. I was talking about 15, 20%. And if ACH holds this, you're going to see that. This is, and I think it's the gatekeeper for File and Theta and VeChain and AMP and Quant right now. Although for Quant, it's been like in the same consolidation. And when somebody said it earlier, I'm like, I need to check this out. It legitimately has been in the same consolidation. They weren't kidding for like 900 days. Since 2021, we've been in the same sideways consolidation. That's how long this has been building. It's incredible. When you start looking at it deeper like that, you're like, holy hell. It's a very long consolidation. So at the very least, you would like to see it at least come back up and retest this $150 area. It's just been such a long attempt here. I'm going to get rid of the micro here, just so we can watch it in totality. The micro was fun, and now it's starting to push out. But, I mean, look how far that's been consolidating. So, let's just say, for the hell of it, we break out right here. That puts us around $317. Would be the technical move for Quant. So I'm not saying it's going to break out right now and go to 317, but it is overdue for a massive move. Just like Theta and File and ACH and Data and ZBC and to a lesser extent, but it has a huge inverse head and shoulders. And AMP and Casper and DGB and Axelar. Did I give you enough options? They are in the same move that most of these other ones have already taken the first layer. They have not. They have not. It's awesome. And I'm going to keep talking about the same stuff. Some people get thrown off there. You're not talking about XRP enough. What is there to say about XRP? We know that's not the volatile mover. This is one that's continuing up to, we predicted $3.29 with the possibility of $3.32 because that's what the target showed. Or that's what we were seeing in the other parts, but $3.29 was technically the technical target. A lot of people yesterday in the lives were like, it's never going to get that high, and 24 hours later, not even. We got that high. Now the question is, can we go higher? You know, I'd rather make more money here. It's already been a $1,900 day thanks to XRP. If we're only talking XRP. And I am very appreciative of that by XRP. But I'm also not stupid. I also know there could be a back test at $3.10 because we had a pattern that was consolidating. That's not the right pattern. Or the right chart, I should say. Wait, where the hell did I put it? Oh, I'm in the daily. I need to go to the 4 hourly. I forgot. And then I'll have to find the chart I put it on. I forgot it right here. So that's the pattern we had created in the consolidation. So if we need to back test, you very well could see a back test there. It teased it, but it hadn't come down here yet. If it does break down from here, you would see a back test at 310. And then, you know, it would make for a very volatile spike up and a re-attempt at all-time highs. Let me try to catch up. Well, Josie Wales, thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year at the I Told You So badge, and also the $4.99 donation. Appreciate that super chat. Pay it forward mentality. Time tested Tom. Hope you happy like me. You're happy like me. Oh, I am. Yes, and this is time tested technical analysis, and it's been nothing short of amazing. And I'm really enjoying these lives where, yes, there's a lot of content coming out, and we spend a lot of time talking about a lot of things, but I think it's given us a lot of understanding of what can happen, why it can happen, where it can happen, why it's not always 100% certain it can happen, the conditions that need to be met. Tomas, welcome in. Anthony Latino, good morning, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for 3+ months with the XP Meteor. TF, good morning. Laurel, Trump says the government starts using digital payments only starting on August 1st. That's a convenient date because that could be a... The funny thing is that's what they're saying, August 1st, so you could have... That's the date when a lot of the charts actually line up with a dump, too, if we end up going too far. That is interesting. That is certainly interesting. Like, ZIL is on the breakout right now, so we're very much, and we're back testing this, we're very much on the verge of something special here with ZIL, too, so we keep a close eye on all of these. ZIL, like I said, you can buy it on the futures and 1x on BITUNIX if you want it. But data up one, like these are just bouncing around like no other. ACH, we know after the breakout what we're dealing with here. So, you know, we're dealing with a nice move if we can continue this and actually break out. So we got something developing here. We have a nice little cup that was formed and it broke out. So, I mean, we could do a short measurement here out of this, and this could give you the short target of this tiny little cup area. Now, if you come way up here, we can give ourselves... Oh, it did come up here. Never mind. We can measure it now. So, if you want a short target, assuming we hold this area, there's your short target. Just measuring the base of that little cup. There's your short target. 2742. Pretty close to what we had up there before. But that's just based on what we have already completed here and trying to see if we break out of this now. And then ultimately we could get up to 4.3 if this plays out and this pattern breakout holds. That's the technical breakout move measuring the consolidation zone. So it's always, there's never a dull moment, and it's always very exciting to watch all of this. And then, you know, it helps too when you have an understanding so that you don't freak out. Like if I didn't know what was going on the charts, I'd be like, oh my God, why is it so volatile? What's going on? This doesn't seem right. There's too much red. I don't know what I'm talking about. This is horse. You know, that's bullshit. Mosey here, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year at the I Told You So, the I Told You So badge. XDC should eventually start to move up. Fingers crossed. Yes. It will. It'll have its moment, too. The only thing we noticed with XDC is that there could be consolidation still for a little bit more of a back test. If it breaks this. If not, it'll just power through, and this is like a little bull flag that's setting up. But if it's trying to set up some further back test, there is a possibility. But at some point, it's got to break out. So, it's probably on borrowed time. Unless it wants, like... Unless it's going to really come all the way back down here to 6.2 cents, but I don't know about that. Especially with the conditions right now. Golden Cross in the daily. It feels like it's just a matter of time before we get some nice parabolic movement. So, patience is a virtue, as they say. It's nice to see XRP healthcare up 2.4%, reversing the losses from yesterday. This has a huge reversal set up if it pans out. And right now it looks like it is panning out. So our next big resistance is going to be up here at 8.8 cents, which is a 22% move. Roughly. Listening at work, thanks for keeping me sane time. You are welcome, Big Papa. Aurelie, welcome in, says good morning, working. I'll be listening in the background. Glad everything worked out for your family. Oh, thank you. Me too. Thank you so much. And good luck at work, everybody. G-string, IOST. You know, I haven't looked at that in a while. It's not that I hated it. I just didn't like some of the stuff that I heard when BitBoy was covering it. Somebody they had on in particular talked about it being somewhat of a siphoning scheme, one of the developers, but I'll say this all the time. There's an exception to the rule when you can buy. And notice how there was no time to buy since I got rid of it. But now we've got a big W reversal. That's actually something we waited for. It's building a inverse pattern. So boom, boom. Then it should come up here and maybe form the right. So this looks like it's building a retest back up to 004. Very, very intriguing token. Especially if you can get past some of the nonsense that I couldn't get past for a while. So yeah, that's an intriguing token, no doubt about it. There is no doubt about it. But I mean, where it's at, that doesn't, I mean, if it was gonna go, this is so far behind the masses. It's on that golden cross as well, and that's an IoT token at least. I mean, yeah, it looks like it's getting ready to go. Honestly, if the rest of them take that move, there's no reason to think this isn't going to. How far is that up here? That's like 27% to get up there, too. So even if it's bearish, it's looking at a possible backtest here of 27%. Unless it gets resisted on this wick. But look at that nice inverse head and shoulders possibly lining up in that small time frame. Yeah, if it was going to go, this would probably be the time, honestly. Defined, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 3 months with the XP Meteor, being a very trusted mod. And not just in here, but helping us in the Telegram big time. Big time being in charge a little bit more there for you, too. But you said $10 to $80 goal. Oh. I didn't even think about that. Here. We'll do a 5th super chat. No, we don't want to do a super chat that high. We're making people all colors. We will do 10 super chats. We'll say at the light blue or higher. We'll set a timer for, what do we got, about 30 minutes left in this live, maybe? And then we will sing Sunny Days. But it's a cumulative thing, so some people have already donated, so I will keep that as a running tally. But for today and today only, I'm not singing it if we don't fulfill our goal. Because some say that I need to make, you know, things a little more strict, and I agree because we get a lot of spammers. So no, I'm not, Ricardo. I only do the copy trading on BITUNIX. Even though we did very well on BLOFIN. Surprisingly, we did very well there. Especially because I used to do VELO trades there a lot. On leverage. Let's see. John Hall, welcome in, my brother. I'm glad to see you in here. Amanda O'Shea, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 6 months with the XP Predictor. Let's see. Oh, absolutely, H-bar is. Absolutely. Absolutely. And H-bar is kind of in the same fundamental setup for a breakout. It has a big inverse head and shoulders, which we should be coming up here to test this area. But ultimately, in a cup and handle, you come back up to where it starts. And we should be coming and forming at some point to 32. So absolutely it's in the conversation. You better believe it. I always forget it, but I have exposure to H-bar. I have tokens. That's the one I keep forgetting because I send them over to, and don't judge me, but I send my stuff over to sit. Like I have Digibyte over there. I have VeChain over there. And I forgot about H-bar, but that's sitting over there as well on crypto.com. I didn't buy it there. I just send it over there is all. But yeah, I'm very, very, very big. I think it's on. Let me check. I don't want to speak out my ass. Because when I looked, I'm like, wow, what's in my account for holdings outside of CRO, Digibyte, and VeChain on this exchange, because I sent them over here whenever I did it from BITUNIX, which makes it a lot easier, and then I just send it off. But I think H-bar, there was a time when you had to do it through HOTCOIN, I believe, and you couldn't do it through BITUNIX. I believe, though, that's not the case anymore on BITUNIX. Yeah, I think you can withdraw it now off of BITUNIX, if I'm not mistaken. I'm almost positive that you can. Sorry, just give me a sec. I want to make sure. Withdraw. On-chain. H-bar. Yep, you can do it on H-bar now. Perfect. Because I remember before when you couldn't do it on BITUNIX. Yeah. So that's I definitely think H-bar, I mean, it's well undervalued, and unless these are topping reversals, which I would have a hard time believing, although you could say it could make a cup and handle here, come back, but it already did. It made this little handle here. So it's either, if it doesn't break down, we're going to work off this daily, which I assume is going to be the golden cross. See, this is the next layer. So we have some in the 4 hourly, and then the rest, now like IOTA, Algo, H-bar, there's a few of them, but they're in the daily golden cross. And they're tightening up, they're converging. So this is just one that needs to sit there. Like, this is just one that needs to sit there. I don't think you need to do anything special. And just let it cook. Just let it cook. Some things you just have to let cook. That's one of them. Especially if you missed out on XRP when it was so cheap. You know, don't make consistent mistakes over and over. There's nothing wrong with holding H-bar and letting it go and cook and seeing how far it can go. There's nothing wrong with trying some of the other ones that haven't moved yet. Now, if you're looking for lower levels than H-bar, you got to look at the ones on this screen. I'm trying to separate them by where they're at in the pattern rotation. And all of these, I think Zillow also meets that, are in the golden cross back test, trying to break out now from the back test. This entire list is in that same fundamental setup, so just get familiar with it, because then if you start to trade a unit, you want to know which ones are on the same lining. Like this one with Quant, technically it's back testing a golden cross move. So golden cross with this one, it would technically be, so Quant is technically like Algo, IOTA, and H-bar. And XLM for that matter, if it makes sense. And you see that big inverse head and shoulders? It's literally back testing a big breakout. And this first breakout would get you up here to about $153. So I do have exposure to 40 Quant. And we'll see if it makes that move or if it breaks down. And obviously, 40 Quant, you can do the math. You know, so there's a little exposure here. But It's because I see it big. I see a lot of this backed up and just. I'm not saying you're gonna go unbelievably sky high, but I am saying like I think if we're just patient here, we're gonna be okay. I know I keep saying it, and you're probably getting sick of it. But now my question is, would you buy H bar? And that's an honest question. Would you buy H bar at 24 cents, or would you buy IOTA at 22.9 cents? So H bar at 24.4, and you're buying the setup for a big breakup here. Now you back tested perfectly in the areas you needed to. I'll get rid of this. You got the inverse head and shoulders set up, and we're looking for a monumental move here that can send us into discovery. But it's going to take some work. But we are working off a big cup and handle, which means we may never come back down to this area in the history of H bar. And then my question is, if you had the choice, would you own, and think carefully, $5,000 worth of ZBCN, because I want to see where the audience head is, or would you buy $5,000 worth of IOTA, $5,000 worth of H bar, or would you do a combination of the two and buy 10,000 of each? That's an honest question. And then the idea behind ZBCN, however, is that if it plays out properly and this big inverse head and shoulders moves in our favor, which it may not, if that were to move in your favor, that you could theoretically, with the move you're going to have, you can basically get one or the other for free. Because that's a big bull flag setting up. It looks like. That looks like a setup that's getting ready to explode. So, I mean, you know, you have to, sometimes, yeah, it's a balancing act, but just what I'm seeing. Yeah, that's the problem. I don't necessarily trust ZBCN either. I just play the setups. That's it. Nope, that's what I'm not saying long term. It's just a short term play. ZBCN's your number 2. Excellent. I think if it was up to me, and I'm not going to use 5,000 from here. If I buy it, it would be from just my side funds because I'm not selling ZBCN. But I wanted to see the mindset of the audience between those tokens. But if it was up to me, I'd probably agree. I'd probably have to go half XLM. I mean, H bar for 10,000 tokens and IOTA for 10,000. And like, this is the bottom line, folks. I keep talking about IOTA, but if you don't gain exposure with me and it goes to this next layer, you're going to start to question if you're ever going to get it. Because this is going to be that big push now. Because if it comes through here, and let's just say it breaks up like it's supposed to and it gets to 45, that's a big difference from the 20 cent range into the 40 cent range. Fair? I think that's fair. So, you know, it's getting to an interesting time in these. That's all I can say. It's getting into an interesting time in these charts. But this is going to be the most fun, I can tell you that. It's going to be very fun. I think data, though, if it can do it because of the setup, this could be one of the biggest movers in this next push. So, like, I am not willing to sell a single dime of this one, to be honest with you. It's just not going to happen. So, Quant has a setup in the daily time frame, yes. A similar setup as H bar, IOTA, Algo. It has a similar setup in the daily. Absolutely. It back tested the daily golden cross. And we're going to see if it actually does come up and makes this move up here. Because if it does make this move, Shane, it's going to be coming up near the $150 level. Okay. Okay. I like it. I like the honesty of the community. Yeah, $24, the target of Sunny Days to get to $80. That was the goal that was set by the community. Yes, I have a long open on Quan as well, Shane. So I'm just gonna let it do its job until its job runs out of time. That's what I'm doing with everything I have. Like, you know how Shane, how we've been doing ACH, File, and Theta, we're just waiting as a group, and now at least ACH is showing us a little hope. It's kind of what I'm doing with all of them. I think they're all gonna do the same fundamental thing. So it's sometimes it gets a little, you know, tempting to do one thing or the other. But I think if we just stay true to what we're doing, we'll be fine. I do. I think we'll be fine. Got that. So if it went from that to that, and that to that, okay. But yeah, you're just seeing me like I'm just balancing stuff in my head. Like now everything's getting merged together because I only slept for like 3.5 hours, 4 hours yesterday. So my stuff's getting a little merged, so I'm trying to make sure that I have things separated. Let's see. Mining stocks, just gonna have to be patient. Silver's at 38. Gold's down 11 bucks, but it's still above 3,300 with a lot of room to spare. Miners are down 1, 2, maybe 3%. Nothing even to really talk about there. They're still well up over the past month and a half. I'm seeing the same kind of things. Like, yeah, if it depends what rotation you're buying. If you're trying to buy the 4-hour time frame breakouts, or if you're trying to buy the daily time frame breakouts. John Boogathorpe, thank you so much for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So Bad. And the $5 donation says, Tom, hard to know, I'm sure, but what odds would you put on XRP retracement at all-time highs, 340, and to what level? I don't know. Because we already came and cleared out all the levels. It is possible that XRP gets to all-time highs. One of two things are going to happen. It's either going to put in a big topping reversal, it's going to power through, or if let's say it's at 345 area, it would probably come back and retest $3 because you would have a volatile spike at that $3 level for the first time. Or it might even come to 250 because we left a gap, but that would be an over expectation. Now, the question would be, what if you went from 340 back to 150 and filled that gap, and this ended up being like a topping reversal? That's the question. I don't know until we get there. But I did guarantee, well, I can't say guarantee, but I did give it with a lot of certainty that we'd be in this area, didn't I, John? So, now we have to wait and see. We'll have to see what kind of volatility is to come. But right now with the crypto market, you know, there's a lot of uncertainty, but with uncertainty comes volatility. With volatility comes possibility. With possibility comes opportunity. And with opportunity comes emotion. If you control set emotion, that opportunity turns into rationalization in the right way, which equals a position that turns into money. But there's a lot that goes into the formula. Can I look at Dent? I forgot to do that earlier, and I apologize. I don't think they have Dent on BITUNIX. I'm just curious, though. Because maybe they do now. Oh, they do. Oh, never mind. I'm wrong. They do. Even more intrigued. And I know Dent, from what a few of you have been saying, has got to be getting close to a big break. Oh, my. Oh, I'm glad you pounded the desk on this. Oh, fuck. We were waiting a long time for Dent, since 21 to finish this rotation. Or 22 when it started. Damn. It might actually be time finally for Dent. I'll be a son of a you-know-what. Holy moly. Yeah. Damn. Damn. That is a conundrum and a half right there. That's a... Wow. Okay, guys. This is a real question now. Zebek or Dent? Dent has, in my opinion, probably a lot more utility. And Dent has been known to run massively, and it's been overly consolidating for a number of years. That's good, Nick. That's a good decision. I'm going to have to say Dent. I'm going to have to say Dent would have to get this. I think I'm going to ride Dent with the community. I apologize, ZBCN, but I think I'm going to change my opinion. Oh, I don't have 5,000 in ZBCN, by the way. I have 3,000. So I might take that 3,000 and put it in Dent. I'm being straight up. Dent is something that I actually have a near and dear love in my heart for. And if I put it in spot, I'll never get rid of it. Oh, whoever keeps saying that, Mina, thank you. Poop, she's not. She's not spamming. Just chill. Spam is a little different than what she's doing. She's showing passion for something she has a lot of love for. And I think is excited that I'm actually a fan of Dent. I don't think that's spam. I think that's just excitement. So let her have her moment. And I'm going to have my moment right now. I completely forgot about Dent. And the fact you're getting me in this spot. You guys have no idea how happy I am right now. Someone's going to be very happy, myself, down the road, when I explain to myself that you actually made this move. And you waited for 4 years or 3 years to buy this token. But now it just so happened to be at this exact spot. So I did it. I bought 4.5 million Dent. That's like $3,390 worth. And I'm going to let it sit until it cooks. And if it cooks me, I don't care. This is what I'm going to sit in just like I did with XRP. I'm going to let this cook. Look at that. I'm letting it cook. And it's got perfect utility. Yes, please do, Mina. Please do. Thank you so much for continuing to bother me with this. No. I wouldn't take VELO over Dent. I don't think. Not in this positioning. I don't think I could in this. This positioning is phenomenal. I don't often get this excited and make a rash decision. I really don't. But Dent has been on my target list for a long time. And it used to be on Uphold when I would be fascinated over it. Look at just the structure above. This is a chart that I covered it. And we used to do sunny days, but that's data. Where's the Dent chart? I don't think I used the Dent chart I used before. No, I made the new one. So, I am very blessed that I did this live right now. And I am just going to say it. I am very blessed that I did this live, even though it's the second one of the day. Because this is a blessing, what you just did for me. And I'm going to come back here and I'm going to kiss your ass, Mina, for a long time because, holy moly, I almost missed this. I would have missed this. I was so focused on other things. I would have been so pissed. Like, I can't even believe that it popped up at this exact moment. And I know you were bothering me about it earlier in a good way, but it was 3 a.m. and my mind I couldn't focus. And now I hear what you were saying, so I'm like, I need to pull this up, and oh my. If you forward run this, and let's just say it breaks out, it's about 70% of the move. Yeah, that's an incredibly big move. Like, that doesn't move like the rest. When you buy it at the right spot, you're talking about, like, this move is 106%. Mina put a chunk of her XRP to Dent. That is not a bad idea. Especially with how much we've already run. See, the funny thing is Dent, in a lot of ways, doesn't it look like DGB? Don't they look very similar with how long they've consolidated? That's a very similar structure. I was going to say, I know I've seen that somewhere. That is very similar, Mina, to my DGB setup. Oh, that moves incredibly fast. Matteo, I think this is a bull trap. It very well could be. But you got to remember, even in a bull trap, you got to have the movement to set it up as a bull trap. Don't let opportunity pass you by on, you know. I'm just saying. Certain things are set up in certain ways. I would ride Dent down. I have zero. Oh my God. I am so, oh my God. I can't even tell you how, sometimes I'm just happy. This is a move that made me, oh, wait a minute. I may be selling it right back out. And if I can buy this as a group trade for Dent, who would be interested in having this as a group trade? But let me not talk too much. Because I want to see what this, if it is even available. I don't want to get my hopes up here. No, we can't. Damn it. That's okay. You know what? It's probably better that way. It's probably better that way. Would you set up a long? Is Solana typically slow to the... No! Okay, so Solana is either way ahead or it's one of the last. Because it's an institutional token. So my philosophy with that is, because the big players moved XRP, Solana, and a few of those, the fact XRP was cooking a little bit, they used a lot of money to cook XRP and move it. So Solana's going to have to wait for that free-flowing capital to come back. I can't even explain how happy I am right now. I don't know your personal situation. And this is not because I don't think ZBCN's going to run. This is just a momentary opportunity with that where it sits after 4 years. And it's not always going to be here. So this is a decision that I didn't take lightly, but I made with a lot of understanding of what I want to do personally. I would probably say, oh, Mina, me and you are riding this now. This is me and you. I'm always going to associate this with you, just like I always associate Tanya for making me look at H-bar when she did at 5.2 cents. And then we did a bunch of stuff a year and a half ago and it allowed us. Solana, that is what you wanted me to look at next. But I would say, who was I talking to? Poop. How much are you looking to put towards it in the copy trade? Are you looking to do, you know, $1,000? Are you looking to do the full 5,000? Like I have like 6,000 because I put a little bit more into Theta. But you know, it doesn't really matter what you put in. You can do it fixed to where only a certain amount. Let's say you have $1,000, and you want to make sure that if I do 3 trades, equal parts go in, or if I do a 4th, or whatever. So you say I want to have each trade be worth $339. You can do that. Yeah. So you can say I want to do a fixed open of $333 per token. So then if you have $1,000, if I open one, it'll open $333 worth. Opens another, $333. Opens another, $333. Opens another, you don't have any money, so it doesn't affect you. But I'm not trying to go over what I already have open. So I have 3 open, and that's what I'm looking for. Parker did 575 each to trade. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. Solana, let me look at it. I haven't looked at it in a minute, but Solana really should probably be lining up with a move at some point. But remember, it was one of the outliers in the beginning. So yeah, this is another one that has the golden cross and the daily pending. So yeah, there should be a big move coming with Solana at some point. And this move could take it to all-time highs. There's a cup and handle formed. So if you're positioned in Solana and it makes this move, you are going to be very happy. Oh, I mean very happy. Because this would push it into probably that $400 or $500 range if this actually pans out. Here, we can measure this. It's a huge cup. I mean, we can do it from the handle. It built. This was overzealous, so it built down, built through. So we would do it somewhere about, go through here. We'll measure the breakout of the handle happening somewhere like this is where it officially happens. Even though it's already over, we'll just act like it's here. You're talking about, if this plays true, that's why I think the market, we're in alt season. If this plays out and it's supposed to play out, this would mean we're in alt season. What is Dent? Very big utility token. We used to talk about Dent years and years. And Kenny, if Ken's watching, he shared the same birthday as me, December 17th, except he was a little older than I was. I think like 15, 20 years older, but we had the same birthday on December 17th. And Kenny brought into my life Dent back in 2021, and he hasn't been a part of this community for a while. Great guy. But he brought it in, and he had so much research on it that I was literally, when I went through it, I was like, this is unbelievable. 146% move out of Solana if this plays out. All I want is finally silence the scream inside me, prove the believing in myself through the hell that life can throw. Wasn't in vain by stacking XP for the last 5 years. Now XP will live. Yeah, exactly. No, you are not insane. You are not insane, and you should already be up nice right now for stacking for 5 years. Yes, I can do TA on AMP because I've been watching AMP for a while. It's got that golden cross in the 4 hourly. We're just waiting. And this is another one that's been in a consolidation, if you want to know, since 2022. So, and I have this in the micro terms just so I can see first layer, second layer. But first layer should get you there. But in time, we should be pushing up, way up. Like, way up. This is another one that's taken years and years and years to do this. I'm not as big of a fan of AMP as I am of Dent, however. So, you know, there's that. But, you know, and I'm not saying Dent's going to go up. I'm just saying it's been in that rotation for so long that eventually it's going to happen. Solana is buggy, but you know. But yeah, guys, I'm going to go. It's been an hour. I'm going to go hang out with Julie, too. It's my second live of the day. I want to make sure I have a voice in case I come back tonight. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you, everybody, for being a part of this journey. And thank you so much, Mina, for... Oh, yeah, Cake is in the sandbox. I used to trade Cake when I first started in crypto. Cake was one of them. There was Sand. Sand was also another one, ironically. Man, I remember Cake. We used to have a little fun in this community, this very community in 21 and 22 when we were in the waiting to buy back for XRP. We would swing trade things. You're welcome, True. I'm so glad to see you in here as well, my friend. Long-time viewer there. Long-time viewer. Long-time helper of the community, too. Went around, too, especially. We have a great place here. Ever evolving. Okay, I guess the question is, I have a real question. Would you hold, because I happen to think I would, and I'm going to, I think I would prefer to hold DGB and Dent, because they've both been in this similar consolidation since 2021. But I guess if you only had a choice of one, which fortunately I can have both, and I do, would you buy Dent or the setup you've seen with DGB? They both had a very long consolidation since like 21. So, and Define, thank you so much for capping it off. I'm going to do sunny days as I leave here. Target reach, time for sunny days. Wow, thank you so much to the community for supporting me. I'll always do my best to be here as much as I can possibly be here. No, Poop, it's okay. I understand why you did it, because we get a lot of spammers. I just wanted to be very clear what I thought was going on there. That was just pure excitement. Oh, you joined me with the Dent purses. Oh, true, you do too. especially in a rough time here when I was trying to build the identity of the community. Remember, past 3-4 years, you were here part of the, the formidable years. And I tried so hard to build what you see before us now, the positivity over negativity. And you were part of that first front that actually helped me push it. So I'll always be grateful to that name forever. Jose, thank you so much for being in Tom's Army for over 2 years with the XRP 589 Moon Badge. Good morning to you, my friend. Another great member of this family. Poop Soup says, oh, I sent a $10 donation. Look, I did say something right. Look at that, the kind of love. Says, Tom, you and your community, you made his amazing sunny days. Oh, I appreciate that. Hi, Tom, or hi, new sub. This is Lee. Are you selling at targets or going long term with stop losses? Oh, I don't do stop losses. I think they target stop losses. Everything I'm talking about is spot. And I am trying to ride these past these first targets. I'm trying to ride these out. The only way that I would sell is if it forced me, like with Dent. I don't really think it could force me out because it's been in this rotation for so long. And I think I'm just going to keep adding. I think I'm just something I'm going to keep adding. But now for the new subs and everything, you're going to see something new for the first time. You're going to see my sunny days. I came up with this song by myself. I'm not a singer. In 2021, when we had a lot of sad faces before the initial breakout when I started. I started March 24th of 2021, Lee. And a true fact, I have never missed a single day of doing updates, live, shorts, or whatever combination I desired that day. I've never missed a day here on YouTube. And I'm very passionate about that. We started out with about $3,500 in or $5,000 in our crypto portfolio when I started. And you can imagine it went over 6 figures. We started XRP. We've been in it several times. This time we've been in since 34 cents. Some a little higher, some a little lower. And you can imagine right now it's up like 10x almost. So that's nice. Absolutely true. Remember we used to talk about this back in the day, me and you, in my early days about that very point. And me and you started to become victim of that when we were leverage trading. And then we both decided that I think spot trading we really need to be more secure with and just build our funds up normally. And that to me is, been a very true, a true reason why. And we've had members recently here that lost big in leverage. They had a lucky strike. I don't name names. I'm not naming situations because this isn't attainable for one person. This is like 50 people I've come across now during my time. And I know True remembers a couple people who lost everything risking it in leverage while we were being patient in spot. But True knows what I'm talking about. And there's somebody that it happened to again, a couple people that are really good people in here, but they lost their spot holdings gambling on leverage in the last few days. Leverage was too high with the volatility and they got whitewashed and now they have to start over. So it's one of those things like, do you want that easy, cheap money? Or do you want to do it right and at least know if it goes down 10%, you can buy more into your spot bag. Goes down 20% and you want to hold, you can buy more. It's not going away. And that's a level of comfort that I appreciate these days more than ever. Because it does really feel like it's one big liquidity strike over and over and over, one way to the other. And the only one who really wins is the guy who's holding his spot bag, who's not afraid, who buys at reasonable times. Like for me, it's just, now it's about capitalizing on the next rally. The next opportunity that arises. And the only way to capitalize on the next opportunity is to be in before that opportunity arises. But yeah, I know you all know I'm leaving. But thank you all so much. I'm going to sing Sunny Days. Lee says, wow, Tom, thanks. Honored to be here and having you respond. Oh, I respond to everybody. To the dismay of many, the chagrin of some, and the absolute joy of many, or the others, I say hello to every single person. I say hello to everybody part of Tom's Army. And that's just something I like to do. Welcome in. Go to the gym, bro. Welcome in. Cowabunga says, hey, Tom, question again. Is XLM like XRP hold forever? Yeah. If you believe in that philosophy, XRP, XLM, XDC, these are long holders. Now, it depends where you bought them, because not every spot being held is the same. Like holding XRP forever from 324 might end up costing you a lot of money in the interim. You know, but if you have it later. And I'm not telling everybody to sell your stuff to buy Dent. I'm just saying that's one that I'm very excited about. And for a while, it was only available on certain exchanges. Mind you, it's very volatile. So I'm telling you, like, this is not for the faint of heart. Like, I don't look at my portfolio when I hold these kind. Like, look how long. That's a 20% drop back down to 0.0057. Now, yes, we are playing in a good zone here because we're on a golden cross. Yes, it's good because we're riding the 20-day. So you're trying to minimize. We've got this nice V-shaped recovery. Formed an inverse head and shoulders there. Even on the smaller pattern. So everything seems good, but there's a lot of volatility there. So make sure you're going with your own gut instinct and not because I actually like something. For all I know, it's going to fall off and ZBCN is going to rise. And I'm okay with that. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I know what time it is. Do you know what time it is? Ladies and gentlemen, the sunny days are here again. Oh, sunny days. Oh, what a day. Oh, sunny days. Oh, what a day. I wear glasses 'cause I can't see a motherfucking thing. Happy days. Oh, happy days. Oh, what a day. Oh, happy days. Oh, what a day. XRP will reign supreme. Let's not get caught in the FUD. Oh, we're gonna crash and we did and we will and we won't and we can and we won't and we did and we will and we won't and we won't and we can and we will and we rose and we rise and we will and we fall and we rose and we kept on going. Oh yeah. Stay true. Stay blessed. We take dumps of Bitcoin. That's what we do. So basically the sun is taking a dump on Bitcoin and promoting XRP while smoking a doobie and telling you not to fall for the FUD and stomping it out. Yeah. I love the sunny days. So have a blessed one, everybody. Love it. Oh, Lee. BITUNIX. I'm logging off right now, Julie. BITUNIX Lee. Look in the video description of this very video. I'll show you how to find it. Of this live. So up at the top, you see on the top right in the chat on my screen where it says that, click on your top where it shows BITUNIX. That's no KYC exchange worldwide. That's where we go. It's got the lowest spot and leverage trading fees. Ooh, look at what it's building in my screen. Look how wild that is. Isn't that wild? And then make sure you join the Telegram. Go on my YouTube homepage. Go here, click on my emote, and then click on this BITUNIX thing, and there's a bunch of links. Click down to Telegram, go to the Telegram, and you get step-by-step instructions. We've created something amazing. We have 411 people. We got 3 mods now. It's just fire now. There's content section, so you get all the content, the links, so that even if YouTube's not showing you, we've got the daily setups. We've got the group swing trading group where we talk. So, but the thing is like, if you're in this, and I'm going to be putting a mandatory thing in here, if you're part of my Telegram, please join Tom's Army, because there's going to come a time soon when I'm going to be kicking people out that part of Tom's Army, because we've had way too many people imitating my name. And the only way to fix that is by having some kind of, safe firewall, which happens to be a paywall in this case, which it is what it is. And we'll do what we have to do. But right now it's volatile. So just if you're buying something, it can still fall very quickly, very fast. And we're just waiting to see if these golden crosses play out. Like ACH did go up to an extent. We're still waiting to see if we get a carry through. And this candle just started, so we'll see what kind of volume is produced. Have a blessed one, everybody.